Hi guys, today we are going to generate a mathematical table. So our table should look like 2 times 1 is equal to 2, 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and we go all the way till 2 times 10 is equal to 20. So first we will going to generate a table for 2, and later on we are going to extend that to generate a table for any number. Let's see how are we going to generate the table. So here you can see that the 2 is constant across all the 10 numbers. The second digit is what it is going to change for every entries, right? And the third one is just a multiplication of the first and the second one. And as you can see that the second column is getting extended by 1 every time. To do that, we are going to use a for loop that has to go from 1 till 11, and every time it gets incremented by 1. So here is how we are going to write a for loop for x in range, and we go 1 to 11. And the reason why I'm going to go to 11 is because in Python you go one less than the ending number here. So in this case you see that it is going from the starting value and one less than the ending value, and then we are going to print x. So if I run this program, you are going to generate a number 1 to 10. The other thing that you need to know is if I want to print something, I say print hello and John. Let's create a variable and assign the name John to it. So now if I am going to substitute this variable instead of John, what will happen? It doesn't know that the var that we are using is a variable and not the actual text here. So if I run this program, it is going to print hello var. If I have to print the value of this variable, which in this case is John, I have to put this variable within a curly bracket. So this is how it is going to look. I put an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket. I put an F in front before the opening quotes, and then the first text is hello, and this is the variable. So when it comes across and sees this curly bracket, it is going to place this variable with the value. So if I run this program, now it is going to print John. If I say instead of John, I want to print Ben, all I say is to change the name, and then it is going to print hello Ben. So these are the two things that we need to generate the mathematical table. Our table is going to look like this. So instead of doing a print here, we are going to print 2 times 1 is equal to, let's delete this and run this program here. So what is happening again here? I have a loop which goes to 1 to 11, and it is printing 2 times 1 is equal to something. And if I run this program, you can see that every time it is going to generate 2 times 1 is equal to this, 2 times 1 is equal to this. So now what we have to do is this one which is getting generated every time, we have to change to a variable x which is storing the value 1 for the first time when the loops gets executed, 2 when the second time the loop get executed. So it is basically a counter that is keeping track of how many times this loop has been executed. I'm going to replace this one with x so that the first time when this loops get executed, it is going to display 2 times 1. Second times it comes, it is going to say 2 times 2. Let's run this program, and as you can see that instead of printing the value, it is printing the x here. So now remember the second thing that we talked about, right? If I want to replace the value for this particular variable, I have to format this text and also put this variable name inside the opening and the closing curly bracket. So now what's happening here is that whenever it comes across this statement, it is going to replace the variable x with the actual value. So it is going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I run this program now, you can see that now it is generating 2 times 1 is equal to something. So this is exactly what we wanted for the table to be generated on the left hand side. Now the only thing that is missing is the product of the first and the second number. We are going to do 2 times, and the asterisk is the multiplication in Python, and we are going to multiply that by x, and we are going to put that inside the opening and the closing curly bracket here. So what is going to happen? You multiply 2 by x, and then whatever is the value, you're going to put it in the curly bracket so that the output is getting the actual value, not the variable here. Now if I run this program, you are going to see that it is generating the multiplication table that we want. So it is going to say 2 times 1 is equal to 2, 2 times 2 is equal to 4, all the way till 2 times 10. So as you can see that this is a very simple 2 lines code to generate a mathematical table. So let's look at the code again and see what is happening here. You have a for loop for generating the number 1 to 10. X is a counter that is keeping track of how many times the loop has been executed. And the second one is the print statement. Here you have a 2 which is constant and not changing because we are generating a multiplication table for 2. Here we have x which is changing every time this loop is being executed, and we have put it in the curly bracket here so that it is replaced by the value. And finally here the third statement is the product of the first and second, and then you multiply 2 by x and then you put it in the curly bracket so that we get the value of that output. So this is the first part of the multiplication table. Now if we want to generate the mathematical table for any number, not for 2, we can do that by asking the user for the input. So let's create a variable num, and we are going to ask the user using the input statement to enter a number to generate the table. So enter a number to generate a table. We are going to put a question mark and then a little space. So since we are going to do some mathematical operation on this, we are going to convert that into an integer by adding an int statement in the front and then put a opening and the closing bracket at the end. So this is going to convert the input that we are getting it as a form of a text and then converting into an integer. Now you can already make a guess that all we have to do is replace this 2 by this variable that we have got from the user. And to do that, again, you use this variable and put it within the curly bracket. So you do a num, which is our variable that we got from the user, and then put it in within the curly bracket. So what will happen is this num is going to be replaced by the value that we got from the user. And here also for the 2, we are going to change this to num so that both the numbers are getting multiplied and then the value is getting displayed. So now if I run this program here, it is asking me enter a number to generate the mathematical table. So if I put 5 here, it is going to generate the table for 5. So 5 times 1 all the way till 10. Let's run this program again, and this time I'm going to give 3. So it is generating a table for 3. So as you can see that it is relatively easy to generate a mathematical table using Python. The only thing that you have to be careful about is this format statement here, and then how do you actually replace the value of the variable. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks, bye.